Meanwhile, 8 minutes after the top of the hour on this Tuesday, it was a tough Memorial Day yesterday for the Commander-in-Chief. The President praising veterans who are not very happy with him right now as the VA scandal continues to grow. Steve Centani is following that from Washington, D.C. Good morning to you, Stephen.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everybody. The President honored veterans on Memorial Day, promising they'll get the care they need amid a continued uproar over veterans' health care. Now, the President appeared at Arlington National Cemetery for that traditional wreath-laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknowns. While giving no specifics, the President did address the VA scandal this way.
As we've been reminded in recent days, we must do more to keep faith with our veterans and their families and ensure they get the care and benefits and opportunities that they've earned and that they deserve.
Last year at the same event, the President mentioned Veterans Affairs Secretary Eric Shinseki, while this year he did not. Many are calling for the resignation of the retired four-star general. And there's, of course, a growing chorus of voices supporting the administration's move to expand private coverage for veterans and wondering why it wasn't done sooner. This in the wake of allegations that 26 different veterans hospitals cooked the books to cover up long waits for patients.
I think we not only need investigations by the Inspector General, but I think it's time we examine the Justice Department investigating these allegations because they are of the utmost seriousness.
And McCain also supports that idea of giving private health care to more veterans faced with long delays at the VA facilities. Back to you.
All right, Steve Centani, live in the Bureau. Thank you.
Hey, you remember the big story about the closing of lanes on the George Washington Bridge and how it went back to Governor Christie or didn't go back in the investigation and the controversy that really spun in and around it? Well, you might not remember it, but for the networks, they'll probably never forget it, especially when you compare what the networks did in coverage of Governor Christie's traffic report and the role he ended up not playing in it as of right now, and the investigation around it and the interest the major networks had in it. For example, you may think the VA scandal got a lot of coverage, but think about this. According to the Media Research Council, if you look at the two big stories, it is not even close when you compare about the level of focus.
Right, and when you look at the timing here as well, I mean, it took nearly 4.5 weeks to accrue the 110 minutes that those major networks there offered in terms of information to the general public of America. And it only took them 4.5 days to get 112 minutes on Bridgegate. Keep in mind as well that it took about 2 weeks for them to even pay attention to the VA scandal story here in order to start building the months. You know, here we go. What is it, 4.5 weeks at least?
Sure.
To get to that VA information.
And keep in mind, the VA story is about how the government is mistreating people with secret lists, and a number of them have died waiting for treatment. The other was about an intentional traffic jam. Does it seem like there's a little disparity to you? Probably.
Yeah,
anyway.
and out of the three networks, CBS had 48 minutes on the VA story, NBC 44 minutes, and ABC 16 minutes and 44 seconds over the last 4.5 weeks.
All right. Meanwhile, Glenn Greenwald, who has chronicled Edward Snowden's leakage from the NSA, he's got a grand finale. It's all part of his book tour. His new book is out there. It's called No Place to Hide. What he's going to do, and this is interesting, he said he would go out with a bang and